where you never labored? Oh. He said, you will reap where you never labor. That is what it's all about. Remember, they reaped when they didn't labor, when they came out of Egypt. I'm going to give you vineyards you never planted. I'm going to give you buildings you never built. You hear what I'm saying? Impartation will allow you to do things you never thought you could do. Because it's not by academics. Yeah, you need to study. Yeah, you need to be eloquent. Yeah, you need to sort through and make sure your enunciations are good and all that other stuff. And your vocabulary, vernacular should change as you grow. Just like when you was a baby, you was, you know what I'm saying? Your syllables, your words were a little congested, am I right? But as you begin to grow, naturally, same thing spiritually. As you grow in your faith, things should change concerning you. Your whole orientation should shift. And that's what the impartation does. It takes care of the deficits in us. You get what I'm saying? It will take care of it. It'll take care of it. So we need to know. Something else the prophet says, sometimes we hear just enough to be touched, and yet not enough to be changed. Oh, when she gave me that, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, where you get that from? that is weighty. Most of us live from that dimension. We just want to be touched. We don't want to be changed. See, he had a touch. But he was changed, but he never experienced it. We're going to talk about it in a second. He didn't experience it. And some of us, we sat in meetings, we've been to the altar, we've been touched. But we haven't been changed. Our thinking is still the same. You can tell if you've been changed, your appetite changes. And then you start making the adjustments. Yep, people start, just don't call you back. Or don't want to be bothered with you. And we chase them down. What's going on? Why you don't want to be bothered with me? Now I'm not talking about because you won't manage your behavior. I'm talking about you doing everything circumspectly. You're doing things right. But then all of a sudden, for no reason, all of a sudden your friend just took your number out of their phone. Got to do that, by the way. I don't know if y'all know that, but he will isolate you.
Yes.
He will let you feel seasons of alienation. Because sometimes he has to separate you to educate you. I'm serious. And it is okay. That's when you start allowing yourself to understand what Ephesians 1:7 says, being accepted in the beloved. That way you don't have to get caught up in trying to shipwreck yourself because of, you ain't fitting in. No, it's okay. I've known through the Bible a lot of good people that got not only touched but changed. And it was a willful act of submission. And this is where we got to get to. Tell your neighbor, we need to get there.
We need to get there.
See, the problem is too many of us in our churches don't want to reinvent ourselves. We don't want to meet up to the current demands of the Spirit. Trust me. Look, some of us are so antiquated, out of date in the Spirit. And God is consistently trying to upgrade us. Consistently trying to bring us to levels of evolution in our understanding and the person that we're to become. And some of us just missed the memo altogether. Am I right? Mm-hmm. So we must, in order to transition, in order for us to make full proof of what impartation brings to our lives, we must transition into what has been prepared for us. And the only way we can do it and connect to it is being willing to obey God fully.
Yes, yes.
Amen. We need a genuine expression of regeneration. We need to consistently be enlightened. Can't just be parroting stuff. We just can't be repeating what the apostle said. It has to become our life source, our lifeline. If not, it becomes a lying vanity. Christ must be formed in us. If Christ is not being formed in us, we become a people that are destitute of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is a quote that God gave me some years ago. put it on the tagline. When a people have revelation without activation, it eventually leads to stagnation. Once we stagnate at a present truth, mixture is the only outcome. I say it again. When the people have revelation without activation or impartation, or transformation, really. Revelation is the impartation. Without activation is the transformation. It eventually leads to stagnation. Once we stagnated a fresh truth, the preceding word, mixture is the only outcome. Therefore, mixture perverts or distorts purpose and leaves a stagnant people destitute of the truth they heard. Why? Because we did absolutely nothing with what we heard. And then remember Jesus told him, he said, when he was talking to him, he said, woe to them that your light becomes darkness. Anybody ever read that in Luke? I think it was the 11th chapter. He said, your light has become darkness. And the reason why is because they couldn't receive him. They were so faithful to the law. They were so faithful to the Mosaic system. They were so faithful to what they had been exposed to. And we have churches that will fight you tooth and nail. And fight you for what's been generationally unacceptable for years. Because they won't upgrade. They won't allow the men of God, the company of the prophets, the prophetic voices, the fivefold ministry gift. They won't allow the healer of God, prophetic ministry, a prophetic sound. You get what I'm saying? They won't allow it because they deem it as something in the past. They deem it as that's how they did it in the Bible. Like we just left the Bible. And the Bible is tough. I hate when people say it. And I even had to try to wean myself from saying in the Bible days. I used to say it all the time. The Bible days, well, we're still in the Bible days. Ancient times is a better word. We're contemporary church, but we still do the Bible days. Amen. Amen. So we can't remain in that same dimension. And what happened with him, go to 1 Samuel 19, he remained in the same dimension because you got 9 chapters after chapter 10 that you found out that he did not change. Even though he was changed and transformed, he still lost his estate. And God had sought out another man after his own heart. And we have to be careful. Just like recently, was that last week, one of the big name preachers, I ain't going to say the name of the church, and he has one of the largest churches at the time, and a large church in the Midwest. I think it was in Illinois, matter of fact. Up north. And he had some improprieties with some women. And he was falsely accused. And there's been a cover-up for a long time. And they started coming out. I told myself, I don't know if I mentioned the prophet, I knew. Once they started saying Me Too movement, I knew some pastors were going to fall. Mm-hmm. I knew it, I said, because it's going to be a mighty stream. It's a stream of righteousness. It's coming to the church. The plumbing line is in the church. I knew when it hit it, just because it was in the world, I knew it wasn't going to, nobody in the church going to be exempt. And there's been a few people, a few ministries. That was a whole high-profile ministry. That's why you got to do, you hear me say it, you got to do your own work. You got to do your own work. Just because you're in class don't mean you got to, look, amen. You will fail if you don't do the homework. So look at this thing in 1 Samuel 19. Here you got David running from this rascal, trying to stay alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Oh, y'all don't know about it. Anyway, is that PG's? Yeah. I got it. Amen. So he was trying to stay alive. He was hanging over here. He was Mad Max for a season. He was faking like he was crazy and all kind of stuff. He went up to Ahimelech's house and he was a priest and trying to get his, found out he got the sword. He had to have an instrument, but so that whole dynamic he was trying to run. But look at this here. 1 Samuel 19 and 18. Let me go over there too. I like Old Testament stories. Once you get a couple of keys and the Holy Spirit give you a good jump start, it'd be like the whole Bible and the Old Testament come alive. maybe, well, first 7 chapters of First Chronicles can be a bit vexing once you get through all the names. Amen. But once you break through, well, you're all right. So David fled and escaped and came to Samuel to Ramah and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and dwelt in Naioth. I like all these words, like, because Naioth means habitation. And Ramah means high place. So Samuel, the prophetic voice, the prophetic father, loved the high places. You find prophets all in the high places. Hey, glory. Yeah, told them all the things. And dwelt at Naioth. And Naioth was like a community, like Rockdale to Ramah. Okay, that's all right. Lockport. Is that a better spot for y'all? Amen. Verse 19. And it was told Saul, saying, behold, David is at Naioth in Ramah. He said, what? Verse 20. And Saul sent messengers to take David. And when they saw the company of prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the Spirit of God was upon the messenger of Saul. And they also prophesied. Can you imagine what would happen if the enemy would come up to get us? Oh, let me keep going. Y'all can't read that, huh? 21.
That's true.
And when it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they prophesied likewise. And Saul sent messengers again the 3rd time. And they all prophesied. 3 different companies to go get David. To go get him. Couldn't do nothing. Because every time the enemy got close to the anointing, it brought them out of the character. It didn't change the climate. Ain't that something? That's what impartation to do. It'll make your enemies to bow.
Amen. Amen.
Y'all don't believe that?
Mm-hmm.